This is going to be the part 2 of Smoking with Bad Friends, featuring one of the same kids from the last story time. Last story time, they're pretty good, so we're doing a part 2. Let's get right into it. So the story takes place back in June 2020, right? Basically, my homie, we'll call him Jeremy, right? Jeremy's a good kid. He would normally come over and slide, and he would smoke, and we would just spark up and whatnot, and just chill for a couple hours. It'd be like late, and this is like June 2020, so this is like when the pandemic really started to get crazy and whatnot. So he would slide over, he smoked, and this one time, right, he asked me, I was like, yo, can I slide over? I'm like, all right, bet. So basically, anytime he asks or I ask him to slide over, it's like 12 or 1 in the morning, right? This is like pandemic time, so like, it's like the whole street's on lockdown and everything, right? So I basically be like, yo, slide over, him tell me slide over, and that happens, he slides. But this time he took a little bit longer, right? Normally what we do, like I said, he comes over, we smoke, but he took a little longer this time to pull up, right? And all I remember was he calls me, he's like, yo, look outside your window, right? So it's him, Jeremy, right? Jeremy and fucking Drayden from the last story time. The last story time, like Smoking with Bad Friends part 1, right? So basically Drayden's there. All I remember was I just look at them, they're both on the bike. Fucking Drayden goes, yo, and I'm kid you not, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is this kid doing here? You know, I'm not too cool with like Drayden. I feel like he's not the best person to be around, but he's just like, yo, I'm like, what is he doing here? Like, what the fuck? So basically, right, they come up to the window, they're like, yo, how are we getting in? I swear to you, the kid Drayden was like, yo, bro, if I have to go through the window, I'll do it. I'm like, no, bro, that's not necessary, bro. And like, he's kind of a big kid, he's tall, you know what I mean? So I don't think he's going through the window. Jeremy was tall too, but that's besides the point. But basically, right, they come in. All I remember was Drayden pulled out an eighth, right? And I remember the eighth, the color of the weed, it was like a dark purple, dark type of bud, but whatnot. It was one big nug. I do remember that. It was one big dark purple nug, right? He had it. We broke off a piece. He started rolling up a joint. And then all I remember was, you know, we're talking, we're chit-chatting. I'm like, yo, what's good in a minute? I remember seeing him for the first time, and he lost weight from the last time we met him, you know what I mean? He's like, yo, you lost some weight, bro. And he was like, yeah, bro, I've been hitting the gym and whatnot, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, all right, bet. So he gets done rolling the joint, and then he starts to pack it, right? But all I remember him doing was, you know, packing the joint, and basically, he took a pen, right? And the pen basically had the fucking, like, the writing part with the ink out, and he starts to take that point of the pen and just starts packing the thing. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, bro? I'm not trying to get ink on the fucking joint. He's like, bro, I know what I'm doing, bro. Chill the fuck out. Like, literally, bro, that was his mindset. He's like, yo, I don't give a fuck what you say. I know what I'm doing. I've been smoking longer than you. I'm like, all right, whatever. We just said whatever, bro. We just don't think that's safe. We spark up the joint, right? We just chilling. I don't really remember much from that story time, but that's the first time he came over, right? We were just chilling, we were smoking, right? But that's not all. The second time he comes over, right, there's a new guy. We'll call him Dave, right? Dave is a bit bigger than Drayden, but basically Jeremy hits me up. He's like, yo, I'm with Drayden. We're gonna slide over soon. I'm like, all right, bet. So I got some weed ready, and you know, we're just gonna come over, we're gonna chill, we're just gonna have fun and whatnot. And all I remember was he calls me, right? And Jeremy calls me. I'm like, you know, what's good? And I don't hear nothing. It's just him talking. Oh shit, my PS5. It's just him talking to somebody. I don't know who he's talking to. I'm like, yo, what the fuck you doing, bro? And then it just hangs up. Like, dead ass. He calls me. I don't hear nothing. So it was Jeremy out here talking in the background to some guy, and then like background noise. I can't really hear it, and then it just hangs up. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then like 20 minutes later, he hits me up. He's like, yo, we just ran from the cops. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just ran from the cops. What the fuck did y'all do? And I remember like, oh yeah, this is like pandemic era, right? So obviously you probably can't be out that late with all minors and whatnot. But now what happens is they're on their way, right? So they're on their way, and they hit me up and say, yo, we're here, right? It's not only just Drayden and Jeremy now, right? There's also another guy named Dave. So, and there's me, BB, right? He basically comes in, right? And I remember they walk in the door, and there's this car that backs up, right? There's this car that backs up, and then, you know, they must have slowed down, or like they drive forward, whatever, right? There was a car there, and they slowed down as soon as they were gotten in, and they just ran inside the house. They ran inside the house as if that's somebody suspicious, right? I'm like, what the fuck? All right, then you guys are in the house now, basically, right? Then they all go to my room. And all I remember was, you know, Dave's there, he's just chilling and whatnot. I never met Dave before, right? Dave is Drayden's homie, right? And the thing you have to understand is this, right? We lived on Oak Hill in Seekonk, right? So we lived in this big house and whatnot. Not big. Oh yeah, it was big. You can say that, right? It's just old, right? So basically, my room was right next to my mother's room and my pop's room, right? So we gotta be quiet. I told him like, yo, I gotta be quiet, right? So basically, they start rolling some Dutches or like some Swishes or whatnot, right? They roll up some Dutches to switch it, maybe a game. and then we just start smoking. I think it was like a purple kind of strain, and it just stunk up the whole fucking room, right? Y'all ever smoked in your room, y'all fucking thought the towel underneath the thing was gonna fix it? It doesn't, just so you know. But we're just smoking, chilling, right? We're talking about some dumb shit, we're watching shit on YouTube, right? And all I remember was they pulled out, Drayden pulled out like a pill bottle. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So he pulls it out, he's like, yo, fucking, then he opens it up, tosses everyone besides me a fucking like medicine, whatever. I'm pretty sure it was like ibuprofen for your head, for like headaches, because like Jeremy confirmed it to me later. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? Because I don't know nothing about medication, right? I've only took some when I was a kid, but you know, like, yo, what the fuck is that? He's like, perk 10 or perk 30 or whatever. He's like, yo, perk like 10, whatever, it's perk. I'm like, bro, that's a perk? Yeah. And he takes it, Dave takes it, and Jeremy takes it. I'm like, Jeremy, what the fuck you doing popping a perk, bro? Chill out, bro. And in my head, I'm like, yo, they're all that's doing perks right now. Really, it was just fucking something like whatever, ibuprofen, you know, something for your head or like something for pain. Because obviously, if you're a stoner, you smoke, sometimes it gives you a headache, bro. You might get, you know, your head might hurt. But basically, right, all I remember was, you know, we're watching YouTube. I'm showing them fucking some shit I've been watching on my history and shit. They're laughing at me, making fun of me, dead ass, because we're all high. Like, bro, you're watching that shit? I'm like, dude, I'm high, bro. I always watch weird ass shit. He's like, nah, I feel you on that. TikTok was big, right, at this time. This is when it just started getting big, right? Or like after 2019, whatever, right? YouTube, I'm just watching stuff, right? We're watching rap videos. We're arguing about what rapper is tougher, right? I show him this one music video. He's like, oh my gosh, so tough. Fucking, that's all I remember him saying. And, you know, then eventually I remember Jeremy and Drayden start fighting. They don't start fighting, but you know, they're talking shit, they're bullshitting each other, and then eventually they start play fighting. They start pushing each other around, right? Start throwing like low-key punches at each other. I'm like, yo, chill. And they're getting too loud, they're getting too crazy. My parents are like next door, bro. Like not next door, but like literally on the other room, right? And then you start being, I'm like, yo, chill the fuck out. And then all I remember was Drayden has a smile face, and then he like that type of face, like, yo, bro, his parents are right in there, like, yeah, the fucking bullshit, bro, like, chill out, I just told you. And then basically, you know, they're just fucking around, and that's really all I remember from the story. They eventually leave after like an hour or two. Oh, I remember this one time, right? Jeremy would always get into the booth, right? I had a soundproof booth in my room at that time, right? Basically, right, we would record music. He would basically get high as hell and go into the recording studio and just record a shit ton of music, right? Just freestyle, bullshit lyrics. And then basically, because he's high, you know what I mean? He's not really freestyling, he's just fucking around. And I'm like, yo, y'all want to hear this motherfucker's music? He's like, yo, let us hear his music, bro. He's like, nah. Jeremy's like, nah, bro, don't do all that. I'm like, nah, I'll show you it right now. Like, yo, and they're all just like pressing him, like, yo, you make music, bro. And then they start laughing, like, yo, show us your fucking songs, bro. I'm like, all right, bet. And they're like pressuring us, like, yo, not pressuring us, but like, they really like, yo, show us our fucking songs. I'm like, all right, bet. So I try to pull up the songs, right? And all I remember was Jeremy telling me, B, bro, stop, fam, for real. And then I'm just like, all right, bro, I can't show you all the songs, bro. So I put my phone away, and that was really it. They got a little loud, you know what I mean? I thought they were taking perks. They fought, you know what I mean? We're like getting pressed by these kids, bro. It was a weird time. We were both freshmen. They was like junior, sophomore year, whatever you want to call it, right? It was a fun time though, honestly. But I guess it's going to be it for today's story time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like down below. Subscribe, turn on the bell notification if you're new. Let me know any stories you got in the comments down below. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.